Wrestling review for Monday Night Raw episode February 17th, 2014. First things first, you ever have that cold where as the weeks go by, it actually gets worse instead of better? Well, that's me right now. I feel like garbage, and it is taking an incredible amount of effort to speak at this volume and be this energetic for this review. So I'm going to do the best that I can to try to keep you guys entertained for this. Here we go. John Cena opens the show. Boos. Tons of fucking boos. They're booing him and his awful new clothing line. Oh, it looks so fucking bad. And then guess what happens? You never guess. Here comes Sheamus. Here comes Christian. Here comes Orton. All the fucking guys in the Elimination Chamber. Typical WWE promo here. And I mean, you know, that's not terrible. It's just that I've seen it so many times. I'm just tired of it. And that John Cena promo at the beginning, I've seen this man cut that exact same promo like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 times over the years. I'm just so fucking bored with it. I was bored during this whole segment. And these boos. WWE has got to be the only company I know of that goes to a town and they put out who they think is their main event guy, and people boo the fucking shit out of him, and the WWE's like, well, that's better than nothing. Let's just keep trying to go for more boos, I guess. Fucking idiots. Anyway, they saved Daniel Bryan as the last guy to come out, which was nice to see. He came out and the crowd blew up for him. Huge ovation. And hey, he's got a new t-shirt that doesn't look completely fucking ridiculous. So that's a positive sign too. Then Kane comes out and he makes a bunch of matches for the evening. Daniel Bryan versus Christian being the first one coming up immediately. So to start this match off, you had Christian attacking Daniel Bryan from behind and just kind of acting all heelish throughout the entire match, even taunting the crowd, mocking the crowd by doing the yes chants at one point. Then Christian working over the shoulder of Daniel Bryan for most of the match, and Bryan just basically wound up pulling out a victory by getting a roll-up in there. So even though this match was pretty one-sided with a heel Christian, basically, I enjoyed this match. I thought it was pretty entertaining. Then Kane, who's standing out at ringside, gets on the mic and puts himself in a match against Daniel Bryan. That happens immediately after this one. This match, not so great. It just wasn't. The crowd was chanting boring because it was fucking boring. It was just Kane beating the shit out of Daniel Bryan's shoulder and then getting disqualified. It was dull. Fandango versus Santino Marella. Again, this is like the third week in a row that these two have been in the ring together doing this program of some kind. It's for the kids. I'm not watching it. Roman Reigns versus Mark Henry next. He had Roman Reigns' chance at the beginning of this match. Cool to hear. And this match was actually pretty quick. I thought it was going to be long, but Roman Reigns, he won convincingly with a spear, pinning Mark Henry. I liked it. It all fed into the Shield breakup angle too, with Dean Ambrose attacking Mark Henry needlessly after the match. I thought that was funny. Then you had the Wyatts cutting a promo afterwards while the Shield was still in the ring, and Roman Reigns interrupting the Wyatts promo, basically telling them to come out and face them head on. And Bray Wyatt was like, we were thinking the exact same thing. And out they come. It was pretty cool. It was a great standoff moment. It was all just kind of a tease because they never actually did anything, but it was still pretty cool. Oh, Kofi Kingston versus Jack Swagger. These are two mid-carders that I do not give two shits about, so I did not give two shits about this match. Swagger won with Kurt Angle's submission. Let's just move on. Things got worse after that with this match. Big E Langston versus Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal. You had Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger still out at ringside, with Zeb Coulter insulting the fans and Big E Langston throughout the whole match. And this kind of felt like a botch fest at one point. I mean, there was a botched belly belly suplex Big E did to Drew McIntyre onto Jinder Mahal, and it looked like Jinder got his head crushed. And then Big E was supposed to do the running splash onto both guys, but he only hit one of them. And then the suplex that he gave to Jinder Mahal, it was supposed to be onto Drew McIntyre while Drew McIntyre was standing up. That looked terrible as well. So yeah, Big E won the match, but he looked really crappy doing it. Up next, John Cena versus Antonio Cesaro. And I can't believe I'm going to say this, but This was the best match of the night. John Cena was not completely terrible in this match, but this was mostly all Antonio Cesaro. Cesaro had a nice move catching Cena midair into a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. That was pretty cool. And then I liked the fall-away slam that Cesaro did, and then bridged it into a pin immediately afterwards. Very cool stuff there. And then there was a great suplex off the turnbuckle. Cesaro was on the turnbuckle. He suplexed Cena from the apron up over and to the inside of the ring. Pretty awesome stuff. So Cesaro looked like a fucking champ. He looked like a beast. You know, great showing from him. But in the end, it was all just to put over that John Cena was even greater. So even though this was the best match of the night, it was only a good match. I wouldn't call this a great match because never once at any point in time throughout this entire match, not even since they announced the match at the start of the show, did who I thought was going to win change at all. I knew exactly who was going to win this match from the moment they announced it. John Cena was going to go over. He always goes over. He never loses in this kind of scenario. This is just like Damien Sandow cashing in his Money in the Bank to put over John Cena. It wasn't as bad as that, but it's the same fucking idea in my mind. It's just another example of this company refusing to let go of the past and its past stars to let newer people shine. Yeah, Cesaro looked good, but he's never going to get put over to be the guy, not as long as John Cena's there, until John Cena decides to give it up. Because the company will let him keep it as long as he wants it. Until he decides to give it up. I don't give a fuck what he says on some Steve Austin podcast. Cena's a lying motherfucker. He's not going to give it up until he's good and ready to give it up. And then and only then are you going to see new guys rise to the top. Until then, Cesaro's just going to make John Cena look good by putting him over in these types of matches. Cesaro, Sandow, you bet your ass Roman Reigns is lining up to be the next guy. And don't worry, they'll have Daniel Bryan do it at some point too. Just gotta keep feeding that Cena machine. Feed it. Up next we have the Wyatts versus Los Matadors and Sin Cara. This match was mostly the Wyatts beating the shit out of the Matadors and Sin Cara. And this is probably the first Matadors match that I've watched since their debut. The Wyatts did win here, but not a whole lot going on. Nothing really special to talk about. They had Billy Gunn versus an Uso with Road Dogg and the other Uso on commentary. The Uso in the match won with a counter to the Famouser. It seemed like they were more focused on the commentary that Road Dogg and the other Uso were doing than the match itself. Then your main event, Randy Orton versus Sheamus. I have said this every time these two have been in the ring together. Their matches are fucking boring. Every time you put Orton and Sheamus in the ring together, it is just not entertaining. Not to me. And aside from the one table spot, I was not feeling this match. I was bored for the majority of it. So yeah, as a main event, this match was a big fucking fail in my opinion. Luckily, the Shield came out at the end to make things more interesting. They came out and they attacked Sheamus, so I guess Sheamus won by disqualification. Then you had all of the Elimination Chamber participants coming out, and then the Wyatts coming out after that to attack the Shield, and everybody was just beating everybody else up. Big brawl to end the show. Overall, I'm giving this episode a C-. I liked the Cena-Cesaro match, mainly because of Cesaro, and I liked the Daniel Bryan-Christian match. Other than that, not a whole hell of a lot to talk about. Some matches were okay, most of them were garbage. The main event was boring as hell. The Wyatts facing the Matadores was fucking garbage. The Biggie Langston match sucked. I mean, there was just a lot of garbage on this show. And until John Cena decides to give it up, which I don't think he will for another 3 to 4 years at least, we're just going to keep seeing people put him over on Raw. And I'm just fucking tired of it. Alright, that's it. JB Squared 61279. I'm going to have an Elimination Chamber pay-per-view predictions video up a little bit later this week, so you can check that out. Hopefully I will start feeling better soon so that I can talk like a regular person again. And, you know, I'll see you guys next time.